So you've probably heard these terms thrown around online, right? Alpha and Sigma. They're two of the biggest personality archetypes out there, and they're fascinating. Now, these aren't, official psychological labels or anything. They really blew up online, but they represent two totally different ways of approaching power. You've got the one who commands the pack and the one who walks alone. So that brings up the big questions, doesn't it? Who's really more powerful, the alpha or the sigma? And maybe even more importantly, as we dive into what makes them tick, which one are you? All right, so first up, let's talk about the classic alpha. You know this person. They're the one who walks into a room and bam, they're instantly the center of gravity. They just feed off that social energy, right? They can build connections with anyone super fast, and they always make a killer first impression. It's like they don't just go with the party, they are the party. Okay, now on the complete flip side, you've got the sigma. These guys are tuned to a totally different frequency. Their whole world is internal. It's all about self-improvement, constantly leveling up their own skills. That social spotlight the alpha loves, the sigma couldn't care less. For them, independence is everything, way more important than getting a pat on the back from anyone else. Okay, so this brings us right to our first big difference, how they handle the social world. It really is a case of the crowd leader versus the lone wolf. And trust me, how they approach people tells you pretty much everything you need to know about what makes them tick. So think about what motivates them. The alpha is all about the external. They get their energy from being around people, from parties, from social events, their goal to influence the group. But the sigma, their energy is totally internal. They'd much rather have some quiet time to themselves, using that solitude to do something productive, like reading a book or meditating, stuff that actually helps them grow as a person. And this difference totally shapes where you'll find them in any kind of hierarchy. Alphas are your natural leaders. They're the born managers, the team captains, the ones who just have a knack for getting everyone to follow them. Sigmas, on the other hand, they don't even play in the hierarchy. They're their own boss. They want to forge their own path and work best when nobody's looking over their shoulder. All right, so their social styles are polar opposites. And that, of course, leads to completely different ways of communicating and influencing people. It's really a showdown between the loud voice and the sharp eyes. It's not just about what they say, but what they see. The alpha's method is pretty obvious, right? They're super expressive, very open. They use all that energy and confidence to just win you over. The sigma's power, though, is much quieter. They're the ultimate observers. They're absolute masters at reading people and sizing up a situation. They're collecting all the data, seeing all the angles way before they ever make a move. And this really shows in how they use words. An alpha can be a really impressive speaker, and they're not afraid to just say what's on their mind. A sigma, though, he's a master of saying more with less. They get that sometimes silence is more powerful. So when they do decide to speak, you better believe every single word has a purpose. It's calculated. So all of this, their social style, their communication, it all boils down to how they see power itself. Is power something you have to show off to the world, or is it something you build inside yourself? For the alpha, it can be a bit of a performance. For the sigma, it's just who they are. Yeah, check this out. The alpha almost needs to prove their power to other people. Their dominance is external, it's on display for everyone to see. It's that big, fearless attitude that makes people listen. But the sigma? They feel absolutely zero need to prove anything to anyone. Their power comes from within, from self-awareness and self-control. They don't need your validation because they've already validated themselves. This quote just nails it perfectly. The alpha proves with words, the sigma proves with actions. It's that simple. One guy will spend all day telling you how powerful he is. The other guy won't say a thing. He'll just show you. Okay, so we've laid out all these key differences. Now it's time to turn the mirror on you. After hearing all this, let's do a little final reflection. Let's do a quick side-by-side recap just to make it crystal clear. So you've got the alpha. He's socially active, a natural leader, a really confident communicator, and he's always looking to prove his power. Then there's the sigma. He's self-focused, fiercely independent, more of a calculated observer, and he builds his power from the inside out. As you look at these lists, are you starting to see yourself lean one way or the other? And that brings us to the final and maybe most important question of all. Is real strength actually found in one of these neat little boxes? Or is it found somewhere in the balance between them? Maybe true power isn't about being strictly an alpha or a sigma, but having the wisdom to know when it's time to lead the pack and when it's time to walk your own path.